although I probably should make this the first point, you want to use plain language. When it comes to anything in regarding to a user's privacy and protecting them, you want them to be able to read it and understand it. Leave out the legal mumbo-jumbo. That'll be on a different page, usually on the privacy page or terms of service page. You'll also usually have either a lawyer or legal team look at this kind of stuff. I know this is kind of a money investment, so if you don't have an actual lawyer or legal team part of your company, you really should have someone just review it, make sure that your community is abiding by all these different laws that are currently going against you, especially copyright infringement and that sort of thing. Obviously, we don't need to go into SOPA and PIPA, but the issues tied to that right now are online communities and social networks could be possibly taken down due to one of their members sharing certain content. So, for example, if maybe I shared a image that was copywritten and I didn't have permission to do it, that copyright owner could just go to a certain federal agency, say that your image is there, and they will just shut it down. Now that's one of the issues that was kind of tied to it, but obviously that's still a bill. It's not really tied to what you need to be completely concerned with at the present. However, obviously there's a lot of push and shove on that, so it's something to pay attention to, and I won't really go into the politics on that either. Third point, you'll want to make sure that you protect your members' privacy. Let members know that content is public. Restate the obvious, it may not be that obvious. Obviously, when Facebook was just kind of becoming more important into marketing and online communities and that sort of thing, people weren't really aware that when you post a status update that you're doing a keg stand, it's going to be there for, as long as Facebook's around. And if you don't protect yourself, you don't lock certain things down, it's going to be public. The same thing is going to be for your community. Most online communities are able to be picked up through search engines unless you lock it out. Again, that just kind of relates back to what your community is supposed to be doing and what you want it to be doing. But you want your members to know that content's there, and if their physical name is attached to it, they should be aware that it's going to be around for a long time. Another point is, obviously, we can look at Reddit for another example. You can be as anonymous as you want to be on there. So you can create a fake or handle name, and you don't have to have any personal attributes attached to it in any way, shape, or form. So in that sense, it can increase the potential for trolls and people to speak their mind. But again, in that same aspect, it doesn't restrict creativity. It doesn't reduce people down to being attached to their name. So they may be more open about certain things that you usually wouldn't find in a public forum. And then, of course, you direct them to your privacy policy as well. And that's what you'll work with a legal team or have a lawyer review or stuff. And if you don't already have a privacy policy, honestly, just look at what other people are doing, kind of get some best practices. Fourth point, you don't want to dictate your social norms. So in your guidelines, you want to give some basic do's and don'ts, but your members are going to kind of evolve what your social norms are going to be. So again, looking at Reddit, obviously inside jokes, memes, it's all part of the communication. Now there's some individuals and some groups on Reddit that really don't like it. They beat it with they beat it down until it's a dead horse. And of course that in itself has become a meme on there. But your community is most likely not going to be quite as ingrained with such strong social norms such as Reddit. So you're going to want to set certain things in motion, but really try to give your members and those associated with it a little bit more leniency for creativity. Now the final point I'm going to make on here before we look back over at a couple of privacies that exist is let people know how to contact you. So this is going to have a couple of different aspects. although it's reversed on here, you can reduce copyright infringement issues if you're accessible. So if you want to have a privacy policy, make sure it's in the footer of all your pages. So if someone notices that their content's on your site and it shouldn't be, you just list an email address or whichever preferred method of communication that you want to use, and that will reduce the issue, not 100% of the time, but again, it protects you. You set certain ideas in motion saying that you're not responsible for what your members are posting. Your members are responsible for themselves, but you will handle it when it comes time to deal with that sort of situation. And of course, you want to let your members know how to reach you. If that's a designated email address or you have an internal mail system, you want people to be able to contact you if they find issues on your site, if they find privacy issues, or if there are certain members harassing them. So one example, we had a internal mailing system that we were using for our community, and apparently someone had joined just so they could directly reach out to as many people as they could and spam them with a job or an opportunity. Essentially, they were abusing our internal mail system, but because we made it very clear and accessible, another member was kind enough to let us know what was going on, and we were able to reduce the impact that that spammer was doing.